These are 5 techniques that you can use in a clinch to score more points. The roundhouse kick. This is the most simple technique that you can use, but let's watch it in action. The red get in with the axe kick and scored with the roundhouse kick. This is a simple technique, but for every technique we are going a little bit more in depth, so you can learn all the shades to be successful in your fights. There is a trick that you didn't realize during this fight because he was able to score with this technique, because he made a little bit of space by pushing his body and not the opponent. Then he jumped and lifted the opponent's arm, so that there was an hole in the opponent defense. The common axe kick with the back leg is not one of the techniques that we can use in a lot of fights, but the front axe kick is something that you should bring in your fight because it's a lot useful overall against people that cancel your side kick. So you can fake a side kick and evolve it into an axe kick to trick your opponent's mind. Or maybe you can fake a side kick and score with a roundhouse kick. This is another combination. Or even better, if you're fast as Rashidov, you can strike just with it and take your 3 points for free. There is a technique that is not proper for close combat, but I want to mention this technique because it's something that we are going to watch again in next fight. If we slow down the video, we can check that he first starts it lower with the side kick to trigger a cancel technique, and in the closer combat he lifted for the head. I can tell you that he was successful because he started as a side kick and not axe kick, and the blue fell for the trap. My advice is you can easily steal this tactic and bring it to your next fight. Start with the side kick and evolve it into an axe kick. Did you like those 2 techniques? Click the like button to watch more techniques like this one. Reverse roundhouse kick. A less common technique that not every coach knows, or better they forgot to teach because in the past wasn't a lot used, is the reverse roundhouse kick. The main pro of these techniques is that you can easily surprise and create a surprise effect, and the best way to perform these techniques is to push your upper body on the same side of the kick direction. This allows you to apply more power and the chance to score 2 points. The moments where you can use this technique is when you are close, so you can do a side kick and in a combination reverse roundhouse, or like in this case it's even better to cancel your opponent technique and score with it, surprising your opponent. Nice to meet you, I'm Lorenzo and I love to share my fight analysis passion here on YouTube. If you want to get more content like this one, click the like button and subscribe to my channel. The Korean roundhouse kick. This is something that for sure you have watched multiple times on my channel. The difference between the common roundhouse kick and this variant is that this type of roundhouse kick is much more flexible because you will score not with the upper side of the foot, but you are going to score with the side of the foot. This means that you can aim on the inner side of the armor, you can aim on the mid side or on a deeper side with the same chance to score. Instead, when you throw a common roundhouse kick, you will have less chance to score because it's easier to block compared to this technique. When you hit with this technique, the only problem is that you have to understand what's the best part to hit with your body, because some people hit with the heel and can easily score with the heel, some people can easily score with the side of the foot but can't easily score with the heel, so you have to decide, you have to enter a test and with your experience understand what's the best part of your body to hit your opponent. The fun part of this technique is that you can change the direction of this technique in mid-air. So if you see that your opponent guard his torso, you can move to hit the helmet, the jumping front ankle kick or something like that. This is a recent technique that I hate, but a lot of fighters are using it. It's a defensive technique because you are using your opponent's slide in to kick him and get your points. This technique is a lot effective if you are able to create some space with your arms, then you can jump and score with a very close roundhouse kick to your opponent's torso. Even if it seems simple to perform, it's not as simple, but once you learn it, it's something that you can use in every fight because it's very effective and it's easy to score with this technique. The crescent kick. I'm sure that you already learned this technique, and if you didn't know, this is something a little bit different from an axe kick or the common crescent kick, because when we want to use this technique is in a closer combat, we want to go very wide, and this is in sort of ways against the Taekwondo martial art, against the Taekwondo techniques where we want to be very short with our body, we want to go very fast. The reason why we want to use it in a wider angle is because it is lower and we can surpass our opponent arm block. Instead, if you close the crescent kick, so it has a small angle, it's easier for your opponent to block with his arm. The most common combination to score with this technique is the side kick, punch, and use a crescent kick. A variant of crescent kick is the fake crescent kick. When you close the distance and you're able to block a cancel technique, like in this case, you can score with a fake crescent kick. Watch the slow motion, he blocked the opponent leg with his arm, so the blue couldn't counter it correctly, then he lifted the leg as a crescent kick, but it evolved it into an axe kick. So instead of going to hit with your finger or the side of the foot, you will hit with your heel. In the end, this this wasn't a crescent kick, but it was a variation of the X kick, the hook kick. We have watched multiple times this technique from Vito Dell'Aquila, is one of the masters of this technique, and in this action you can get another moment when to use it. You have to be in a short range with your opponent, and you have to use this technique mainly to counter a cancel sidekick. So first you need to set up a sidekick pattern. Once you've done that, you can break it with the hook kick, the front kick, but is one of the less used technique in Taekwondo. The problem with the front kick is that, or mirochaji, how do you want to call it, is that our stance in Taekwondo doesn't allow us to kick with this technique correctly, because we want that our feet are toward our opponent. Instead, in most cases, we are using our feet pointed outwards. So we don't use the best stance to hit with this technique. But in a clinch, the thing's a little bit different. But in a clinch, our feet are pointed towards our opponent. We just need to create some space with our arms. Then we have to lift our knee and hit with our fair foot. And you can hit the torso, or much better if you can, hit the helmet. Trust me, this is not hard to perform, but it requires a lot of practice because you have to push a lot your body and you have to be able to lift your knee without getting blocked from your opponent. So test it a lot in a sandbag and then on an opponent, and then on a real person, without injuring your friend, of course. Have you already watched how to beat side kickers? Click the window that pop up here. If you are a beginner and you want to improve in Taekwondo, I've made a free Taekwondo course that you can download from the link description or the first comment.